What's up, guys? Welcome to my video covering my time as a strength and conditioning intern for USF Olympic Athletics. As last semester, I was working with USF football. This semester, I am on the other side of things and am making this video to educate future interns on what a day in the life looked like for me, as well as what to expect and more. So I'm on a time limit of around 5 minutes for this video, so I'm going to try and sum this up as quickly as possible. So to start out, if you end up becoming an intern for the Olympic side, USF, this is a list of sports that you will primarily be working with. I do recognize that things do change day by day, but for the most part, you will be working with these following sports. Obviously, not every single sport lifts every single day, so the schedule will be different for you day by day, but each day will be set in stone for the most part, meaning that each Monday schedule will be the same for all Mondays, each Tuesday schedule will be the same, and so on. Also, as you can see to the left of the screen, there's a picture of what the USF athletic weight room looks like to this day. One thing that USF does take pride in is most definitely their weight room, as they have decided to partner with the brand Sorinex in order to allow athletes to use only the best equipment when training for their respective sport. While I would love to get into detail about why Sorinex is such an amazing top-of-the-line brand to use for weight training, I am on a time limit, so I did just decide to provide a small run-through of their website. So now that the sports have been introduced, I'm going to take you into a day in the life of what it was like to be a strength and conditioning intern for USF Olympic Athletics. To start out, I personally believe that you do have a pretty good schedule. At the time of my internship, the schedule was typically from 11 to 4 or 11 to 5 every day. I do believe that this is a good schedule because it gives you some time to train yourself in the mornings, something in which I did choose to do almost every single weekday morning. Not only do I believe that this is a good idea for your own health, obviously, but I also believe that this is important to show the athletes that you also train yourself. There are a lot of ways in which you can earn the respect of athletes, but personally I believe that one of the main ways in which you can get an athlete to put some trust in you is through showing them that you practice what you preach. If I cue an athlete to perform a lift a particular way, for example, and he sees me performing that same exact exercise one morning on my own, the athlete most definitely has a higher chance of trusting you from now on, considering that you are doing the same exact thing or practicing what you preach. Besides this, a day in the life for me post-morning lift would start whenever we would typically have our first group of the day. For example, this would typically be women's soccer around this time of this internship. As you always help the coaches set up and break down each and every lift, you also need to prepare yourself for what is actually happening in the lift. Know your stuff, know what week it is in terms of the program block, know your sets and reps, and also how to demonstrate these exercises in case you do end up getting asked to demonstrate. If you do build a high amount of trust in these coaches, which I do recommend, they will reward you by letting you lead lifts here and there. They may let you lead through dynamic warm-ups, they may let you explain the lifts or lead a different way. But this is something that I do believe is very important to do, as it gives you a chance to demonstrate to the coaches that you want to be here. After your first lift is over, the day continues as you immediately have to set up for your second lift of the day. At the time of my internship, for the most part, it was split in half between volleyball and softball. As they had to share a weight room during the hour compliance gives them to train. You pretty much have to choose which sport you are assisting in training that day whenever you first start. You can always switch, but as some sports are obviously in season in the spring, such as softball, there are going to be days in which they have games and are not in the weight room, so either way you will end up training each sport. After this hour, the main part of the day is pretty much whenever track and field come in. They typically roll in one by one out of practice, and very rarely do they come in all at once. So for this reason, track and field is allowed a 2-hour window to train, as some athletes come later than others. Besides that, you do have to continue to break down the previous lift, set up for the new one, prepare, and this is how each day goes down. Once again, a decent amount of sports are in season, so there will be days in which some sports don't train in the weight room as they do have a game, but for the most part, a day in the life is pretty much 11 to 5, set up a lift, assist in training the athletes, break down the lift, and repeat. There will be days in which you do end up running some tests on some athletes. This could be force plate testing in order to analyze ground reaction force or for testing for imbalances, or it could even be a Kaiser 6-rep test in order to determine the resistance in which an athlete can maximize power output in watts. These are just a few examples. Once again, if you do build enough trust in your coaches, they will reward you. Throughout the semester, I was blessed with the opportunity of leading some dynamic warm-ups here and there, explaining some lifts, leading some lifts completely on my own, and even leading the track and field throwers completely on my own for the whole semester. Overall, as long as you're prepared and you're ready to learn while helping athletes, this is most definitely an amazing experience that I do highly recommend. The athletes here at USF are amazing to work with, and so are the coaches. Thank you for watching.